Good morning. Morning, team. Good to see you. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Early birds up and at it. Good morning, Kevin. Hope you're well, mate. James. David. Luke. Good to see you. Alison. Danny. Facebook user. All the crew in the house. Great to see you, team. Thanks for joining. As things warm up and get going a little, we'll do some quick, cheeky intros. And then we'll get into today's Wealth Coffee Chat. Jason Witten's my name. Most of you know that. But if you don't, if you're new, or you feel like putting something in the chat, put in the chat where you're from. What are you up to? Where are you in the wonderful world today? We've been doing this for a little while, about, what is it? Anyway, 3 years, I think. Fair bit of time. But I've been property investing 20 years across Australia and New Zealand and helping property investors invest across Australia and New Zealand for that time as well, or maybe a little bit less and a bit longer for investing, about 25 years actually. Adding it up the other day. Done a few deals, made a bit of money. Lost a bit of money, made it back. And along the way, learnt a few lessons. And each morning we get together, hang out on this thing we call a little Wealth Coffee Chat. And maybe share a little bit of those things, those little bits of wisdom here, there, and everywhere. So thanks for joining. Great to have you on this morning. And great to hear from you. Anyway, let's get into today's conversation. One of the things of late, and it happens often, happens all the time, is as investors, we often aren't sure whether we're investing enough or we've overinvested. Are we at max deployment? Are we a little bit, afraid or holding back? Are we going for it? Have we got it right? And I want to sort of talk today about these two ideas called like free capital and free cash flow. And, some rough ideas about what you might do with those things. So that's what we're going to have a bit of a yarn, bit of a chat about today, folks, as we go along. So welcome along. But first, what I always like to do is put it in perspective, have a bit of a talk, have a bit of a chat about, let's do a bit of an audit and let's do a general audit. And some of you have already seen this, but roll with me again and maybe get involved in the chat. Some of you have seen the Monday to Friday audit of, most investors' lives. And let's do that again. If you haven't seen this, it'll be good to see. But let's go through and do a bit of an audit of where is, or as a percentage of maximum free capital invested, as a percentage of free cash flow or servicing cash flow, so buying and servicing loans, are you fully maxed? Are you fully into what's going on? And many of you have seen this. Let's say we're talking about someone with 100K income. Let's do the audit. Where does my money go? But also, not only where does my cash go, where is my money now? Where is it going? Who gets it? But as a percentage, can I get control of this cash and capital, this free cash flow, and can I use it on purpose, on target, take control of it to invest in the future? All right, so let's do a quick audit as we go. All right, let's have a bit of a look at this morning and play along. We'll do it quickly to get things going this morning. But, we wake up, we go to work Monday. Today's Friday. But on Monday, we go to work. We exchange some what? Put it in the chat. We exchange some time for money. Everyone does that. It doesn't matter who you are. You exchange time and you expect some money. And the exchange time money thing, nothing wrong with that. We're making $100,000. Who gets our Monday? Put that in the chat. Play along. Most of you know this in advance. So if you do know it in advance, whack it all in the chat. If you want to play bit by bit, that's fine. But who owns Monday? Who gets the Monday, team? And for this person here, as we look on $100,000, the tax office. You're dead right. All right, the tax office. And how do we work that out? Well, when you have a look at it, it's 25%. 25% of your income, your personally disclosed income, goes to the ATO, all right, for $100,000. So how does that work? Just quickly look at the calculator as we do, right? If you have a look here, $100,000, folks, $100,000, the tax plus your Medicare levy, there we go, boom, 24%. Now, that's the tax amount paid, not the tax bracket that you're in, okay? So let's just roll with that for a second. All right, the ATO. Now, I've included it inclusive, but, some people can put it plus or not plus, but, on top. But, what bit next, 10% comes out of your salary or of that 100,000 goes into there as a percentage, 10%. So this is 25%. What next? 25% to the ATO. Messing up my system here. 25% to the ATO, 10% to who? 10% goes out. Boom. Danny's already on it. Under super. All right. Now, for many of us, someone else is managing our super and doing an average job of it. Some might be doing great. Some might be doing average. We can audit that. What comes next? Okay. What comes out next? Either your rent or your mortgage. Okay. Now, let's hope it's the mortgage, but the average Aussie at the moment is expending close to 35%. 35% of their income, folks, on rent or mortgage. And it's balancing up at the moment. So this is like, what? And for many of us, unfortunately, a large portion, and it's probably snuck into Friday now, on consumer credit, high interest credit cards, car loans, furniture loans, you name it, all of these things that, chew up your ability. So when we do an audit on our week, and you can, at home, you can play along with this audit too if you want to, days of the week audit. How do you look? What's looking here? How are you going? And really at the end of the day, it's a bit of a mess for many people. But folks, tell me right now, where are the places that how can we clean this up? How can we get maximum efficiency and maximum deployment? Or for the most case, have a look at how we can make the most of this, right? First place, what's the easiest thing to do? First place, the easiest thing to do is if you have a mortgage, right? If you have a mortgage, we want to make sure we maximum capacity for access to equity, okay? Get rid of the loans. Certainly, Carl, over here in these places, bad debt, let's say bad debt, and the definition of bad debt, team, is anything that doesn't make you an income and is not tax deductible, okay? Like a car, let's say you buy a car, it goes down in value, it's a personal car, it's not tax deductible, and you've got a loan against it. Bad, and bad, all right? But if you bought a property, investment property, it creates an income, it's tax deductible and goes up in value. Good debt. Okay. That's what we're talking about. Okay. So where's the place we can have a look and go, all right, let's see if we can understand, our capacity with our mortgage. And let's just quickly do a bit of mathematics here on our calculator. So let's go to our calculator and have a look and say, all right, let's say I've got an $800,000 mortgage and I owe $400,000, right? Let's calculate what that looks like in terms of opportunity, borrowing power, et cetera, like, maximum borrowing power if everything was all ridgy-didge, okay? If we were able to do that, that is 240,000. So let's say all said and done, you could get access to 240,000. This is your mortgage over here in the purple, all right? You could get access to $240,000. We're doing an audit. Where is the capital? Where do you have it? Have you unlocked it? You could get access to 240. What would you do with it? Okay, what would you do with it? Available equity. Let's say you've got the ability to borrow at 80%. And you could use that equity to buy some investments, or you could use it to debt reduce. What could we go about doing? All right. And that's usually the first place we look for many people, because we've got the ability to buy more cars. Now, people say, oh, if I buy a car and I have it in my business and it creates me money, is that fine? And the answer is, yeah, that's fine if you've got a business and, it creates money and so on and blah, blah, blah. Cars inside a business. Now, maybe not a, fancy race car or whatever, but I've got a neighbor down the road here. They own 10 fancy cars and they hire them out. So they make a business out of their cars. Anyway, I'll get distracted. No, Carl, we're not buying more cars. All right. So we've got all this money. Let's say we do get access to this money. What would we do with it? Well, here's a bunch of things I would do with it and have done in the past. First, if you can't pay it out of your own cash flow, debt consolidation is not a bad way of reducing this. Because what are we doing? Okay, what are we doing here? So I just want to have a look at, as we go, okay, what is our maximum capacity to borrow money, loan to value ratio? Let's say it was 80%. I'm just saying it's 80%. But where do we have free cash flow? So we've got maximum borrowing power here. We could unlock, let's say, 240K, right? But we don't have any free cash flow. We're just zero free cash flow. Is everyone following along? Everyone following along? Now, what we do is we take some of this capital, and because we've got no free cash flow, because we're paying $1,000 a month in damn credit cards or bad debt, we eliminate this. And usually what happens is this might be 20% interest, and we're able to drop that interest on that one down to 6% interest. Okay, that's debt consolidation. I'll do another little one on this another time. So 20% to 6% down here, we might be able to free up the cash flow now. That 20% to 6% might free up $600 extra a month. Okay, $600. So end up, as we're working along here, as our free cash flow, we take our 240 and we turn that into, let's say, a bit of $600 a month free cash flow. Okay, following along, because what we need to do is unlock our capacity as investors. We've got capacity, but we're not using it wisely. Okay, that's what's happening. Up here, remember, the ATO's got 25%, 10% is going into super, 35% is going into, your mortgage or rent. And then, over here, a percentage, probably a large percentage, disproportionate percentage, credit cards, bad debts are holding you back. So one way you can do it, if it works, team, is you can debt consolidate. Now, you don't chuck it on your mortgage and then go, beauty, now the payment's lower, I'll just leave it there and pay off the minimum. What do you do? Tell me in the chat just quickly when you debt consolidate. If you were already paying $1,000 a month on that debt consolidation, and let's say that was 30 grand, let's say that was 40 grand 40K in debt consolidation, right? You deploy 40 and now you've still got 200 left and you were paying $1,000 a month already in that payment. What do you do? What do you do? Tell me in the chat, folks. Do you stop paying the 1,000 and now pay the minimum, which is like 150? And this is where some of that discipline comes in with, okay, how do I create free cash flow and free capital, right? The answer is no. If you needed to know, I was going to say, put that in the chat for me. You continue to pay the 1,000 so you can smash that debt down because, and if you can, Carl, totally pay more because now that debt is less interest, but the debt's still there. So you got to smash that debt off, pay extra into the offset, get rid of it. Boom, David. That's right. Get rid of that bad debt because it's not tax deductible. Okay, that'd be stage one. And let's say you did that over a 2-year period. Let's say you could smash that down. You had your 240 back. Now, what would you do? What can you do with that 240 with your free capital? Can you unlock some free cash flow in your life? And where is the money? Where's the money? Where is your cash right now? Where would we target to get free cash flow or cash flow back, team? Tell me in the chat. You've got equity. How would you go about unlocking, either getting some of this money of your income back or creating some free cash flow? Yes, invest elsewhere. Totally, Carl. And what would we invest in and how would we do it? Well, totally. Right now, for me, you, whatever it is, let's say right now that we could invest in a property, which is what I would encourage you to do because I'm a property guy, right? So if you have a look at our capacity, Bitcoin, I don't know about that, Carl. Over here, all said and done, your capacity to borrow and buy $960,000 worth of real estate, that'd be pretty cool. Okay, not bad. That'd be a nice high-quality property somewhere, one nice high-quality property somewhere. It'd be a stretch, but maybe you could sneak 2 in. But, let's just say we invest in $1 million worth of real estate, okay? That $1 million worth of real estate, what can it do? We now turn our 240 into $1 million worth of real estate. And now that can bring over here into our cash flow side easily $1,000 a week plus in rent. And what else do we get, folks, on top of the rent? And we get it from somewhere else. Instead of the extra rent that we get, $1,000 a week, we're now going to get from our investment property. Where do we get some of our week back? How do we get some of our week back, team? See, Carl. Where do we get some of our week back? Where does it come from? Where does it come from? Tell me right now. We've bought a property and we've bought it well and we've bought it properly and we've bought it in the way we should. How do we now unlock using some of our free capital? How do we unlock some free cash flow? Get our cash flow back. Boom, Danny. You guys know this. And it's sometimes a good reminder. Now, what we will get back, I don't have time to go into it today, but we use depreciation. We get tax deductions, and we're going to get back every month. Maybe $200 extra a month, maybe even more than that, actually, if we do. That is $12,000. Yeah, we'll probably get back about $500 a month on a brand new property. So we're going to get $500 a month back in tax back, or it's actually an offset or depreciation. Yep. So now what have we done? Okay, we've taken equity that was doing nothing. We've reduced a bad debt. We've purchased some investment property, and we've transformed our free capital into some free cash flow, and we've started to, basically, here's what's happened. This is you. You've taken back Tuesday. It's you. It's yours. Oh, that's a bad color, isn't it? All right, let's do a better color than that. Let's do green. This is yours. You've taken it back. Tuesday's back. It's yours now. You've taken half of Tuesday back. Many people choose to invest using their super or, get control of it somehow. And we can continue to do investing with this concept, right? You find your free capital. Where is your free capital? Where is your capacity right now? Where's your capacity? And then you unlock it, and turn it into free cash flow. All right. For most of us. Yes, Allison. Beautiful. Yep. Valuations. I think your valuations will be fine, Allison. I think they'll be good. I think you'll be happy. Actually, I think you might be up, but let's see. Fingers crossed. Valuers are strange beasts. Anyway, did that make sense? Folks, give me a yes in the chat if that made sense today. Go and do an audit. And this might be for when you're starting out. You think, oh, this is for starting out. No. For many of you, if you've got multiple properties, and if you haven't done this, where's my capital? Where's my cash flow audit of late? I suggest you do, because, sometimes we might be behind the 8 ball if we haven't done our valuations lately, if we haven't checked up on our rentals, if we haven't checked up on our borrowing power, if we haven't checked up on our depreciation and tax deductions, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, there you go. There you go. All right. Well, that's it. Wealth Coffee Chat done and dusted. How do you unlock and find out about your free capital and your free cash flow? Do a bit of an audit. Your Monday to Friday audit, folks. Get that done. Eh? Why not? All right. That's it, team. Wealth Coffee Chat done and dusted for Friday. I'll be back next week. Just a little heads up. There's no Wealth Wine of Wisdom today for those who were hanging out for it. Andy Fenton's away on holiday. And I've been doing a cleanse this week, and I'm partway through it. So I'm not getting on the wine by myself. So, yeah, there you go. We'll bring it back next Friday when he's back off holiday and I'm not cleansing. Anyway, folks, there you go. Wealth Coffee Chat done and dusted. You guys have an awesome weekend. Thanks for hanging out. Great to see you all again this weekend today. And remember, this thing's a marathon, not a sprint, folks. It takes time to build your portfolio. One bit at a time, one day at a time. Stay on track. Buy well, don't sell. That's my motto. You guys take care. Bye for now. See ya next week. Bye-bye.